Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the other relearning for doing basic metric conversions, not using fractions. So if you had a hard time with the fractions, I may have suggested to you that you try this way. This is something that I learned when I was younger, and I know Mrs. Lama, who teaches math as well here, does teach it this way too. So what this does is this is going to use what's called a mnemonic. It's got this scary looking name. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about that. But if you look at the list of metric conversions, we can see the first one is kilo, the next one's hecto, then we have deca, we have our base unit, deci, centi, milli. And when you're going from one to another, you can actually use this list to help you figure out how many times and in which direction you need to move the decimal. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that sounds difficult to remember, but you can use this handy mnemonic. King Hector doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And what it does is it lines up kilo with king, hecto with hector, doesn't with deca, unit with usually, deci with drink, chocolate with centi, and milli with milk. So how does that work? So you should have this on your paper. I would ask that you write down the mnemonic on top of the picture. So how do I do that? Let's look at some examples. I'm going to switch to my DocCam here. So the first one we're going to try is number 1, 52.92 meters to centimeters. Now, when you're looking at the King Hector version, you're going to start with where am I starting and where am I going? Well, I'm starting at meter, which is in our base unit, and I'm going to centi. So I'm starting here, and I'm going to centi. So the first thing you're going to do is write down the problem, 52.92 meters to cent, and we're going to convert it to centimeters. We want to locate our decimal, and we're going to move it we're going from meters to centi. So you're going to move the decimal. When you do this, all you're going to do is move the decimal 1, 2 spots to the right, and that's it. So I'm going to do 1, 2 spots to the right. So I'm going to write it at the end, 5292 with the decimal at the end, centimeters. If I'd like to, I may go back and put a comma. Remember, comma has no mathematical meaning, but it does help our brains look at numbers. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2, I'm trying to decide if I've got a comma or a decimal here. Number 2 is 53,100 centimeters to meters. Now I'm going the opposite direction, but from the same place. So I'm going centi to meter. So I'm going to go 1, 2 spots to the left. Please remember, when there is no decimal written, the decimal needs to start at the end. So I'm going to go 1, 2 spots to the left. I've got 531 meters will be my answer. And that's it. Hope this is relieving some of your stress. Number 3. We're actually going to skip down to number 13 because it goes into liters. And hopefully this way makes you realize that it doesn't actually matter whether you're dealing with meters or liters or grams. We're starting here at liters and going to milliliters. So 1, 2, 3 to the right. So we're going to go move the decimal 1, 2, 3 to the right. And you're going to fill in any empty spaces with zeros. Notice that this is a comma This is not a decimal. My decimal's over here. Let's try number 17. Number 17 is a double stepper if we were using the fraction method, but hopefully this way helps you realize this doesn't actually have to be that bad. So how many spaces am I going to move? So I'm going from kilo to milli. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going 91, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I realize I have to add 5 zeros. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to pause right there. So if we're looking here, we've just got this, right? And that'll be our answer. I hope this is helpful. The big thing that you have to do with this one is you need to memorize the order, and that's where this funny saying about King Hector doesn't usually drink chocolate milk will come in handy. If this isn't helpful for you and the fraction method is easier, you should use that. But I think for some of you this might be an easier task to do. All right, I hope this is helpful. Take care, finish up the rest of those practices, and ask me for help if you need it. Thanks, bye.